I just finished playing StormEdge and I did not expect to have this much fun playing this short roguelike game. Will this live up to some of the other indie game roguelike legends? Let's break it down. My name's Shamshin and I love checking out games and letting you know if it's worth you spending your time and money on the game. So let's talk about StormEdge. If you hadn't heard of StormEdge before, it's a fantasy action roguelike developed by Shield Breaking Games and it's available on PC, PlayStation, and Switch. It's set in a world where elemental storms have been ravaging the world for over 20 years, causing chaos and destruction. You play as part of a guild known as StormEdge, a group made up of mages and beast warriors that have been set up to explore the world and find the cause of the elemental storms. Your guild embarks on quests to explore areas with strange occurrences related to the storms. The first time one of your guild sets out to investigate this rumor, he goes missing while searching to understand why this one little village has been unaffected by the elemental storms for the past 20 years. This is where the story begins. I obviously don't like giving away too much about the story, so I'm just going to leave it there for you if you want to dive into the game itself. But with all roguelikes, it's mainly the gameplay that gets people hooked, so let's chat about the gameplay itself. To break it down, we'll talk about the combat, area progression, and the story progression. I found the combat to be super simple but extremely satisfying once you get the hang of it. The basics are based on 5 abilities, so you got basic attacks, combo attacks, counter attacks, conjuration, and dodges. Each time you land a basic attack, you'll build up your combo. When you reach a certain amount of combos, an additional spell will be cast. The more combo points you build up, the more spells you will access. This combo will reset when you reach a combo of 4, and you'll go through the specific character's combos again. It works the same way for the counterattacks as well. You'll gain points towards your counterattacks by performing perfect dodges. Each point gained will improve your counterattack. Essentially, while you're in combat, you want to be managing these points and keep them up as high as you can, as often as you can. The final ability you have is your conjuration. This allows you to summon either an innate ability that is unique to your character or one of the different conjurations you can equip by collecting a certain item. The great thing about this game when it comes to the combat is that there is no cooldown on any of your abilities throughout the game. You just need to have the right number of combo or counter attack points to trigger the next spell. This makes it super straightforward and to pick up and learn. There are also 4 playable characters, meaning that you'll have plenty of different spells to try out, seeing which one suits your style the most. Personally, I love playing Bear as he feels like a magical berserker, meaning you dive straight in and get rewarded for taking risks by being in the face of enemies. All of your abilities can be enhanced through the different levels that you explore, adding additional depth to the game. There are 5 different level types to choose from, including Gold, a Relic Altar, School Mentor, Tempest Tome, and a Loom of Elements. Each have their own unique rewards when you finish defeating all the enemies within that area. The gold room will give you an additional chest with 20 gold in it, and you'll be able to purchase an item that has benefits based on how much gold you have. At the Relic Altar, you'll pick between 3 items or stat boosts. The Loom of Elements will allow you to pick upgrades based on your basic attack, heavy strike, or finishing moves, which are part of your combo. The Tempest Tome will upgrade your riposte or illusion spells. Now, the School Mentor is where things get a little bit more complicated. When you load into a new act, you'll find a school mentor at the start, which will allow you to pick between 2 schools. These schools have different effects, such as the owl will reward you for dodging carefully, while the bear school makes things easier for you to build up your combo. Which school you pick will impact which traits you can pick from the school mentor in the future. The schools essentially allow you to fine-tune your playstyles around certain elements. I love getting the perfect dodges, so I usually go for the owl or the panther. Took me a bit of time to actually realize how impactful the school you pick can be on your playthrough. It does make for some really fun moments where you can get a build where you essentially feel invincible. Now, when it comes to the story progression itself, there are only 5 acts that you play through, but don't let that fool you because Act 1 to 4 is essentially preparing you to take on Act 5. Acts 1 to 4 are standalone regions that you'll need to clear while encountering new characters and learning more about the elemental storms. When you reach Act 5, eventually everything will be pulled together and you'll need to clear each area you did in the previous acts to eventually reach the conclusion of the game. This means that you'll be able to get more upgrades, making stronger and stronger builds the further you progress in these acts. I thought this was a really cool way of orienting you to the game, teaching about the different environments, the different enemies that you fight, and then allowing you to kind of put that all together into this one long run where you get to do this really cool build by the end of things. So should you be looking to pick up StormEdge? I 100% would recommend it to anyone that enjoys roguelikes or grindy games and is looking for something that's short. It's an absolute blast with different spells and schools that you get access to, as well as not being too long of a game. It took me about 9 hours in total to finish the game, and that included a few more failed runs than I would have liked. But they do an awesome job at pacing the game so that you can feel like you're actually progressing with each run. It just makes for such a fun time. So if this sounds like a fun game to you, go and check it out.